Taking off in 5, 4, 3, deuce. Yo, 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 it's your boy, Tio. As you know,
It's your boy O'Rain, real name, no games, no gimmicks.
it's the motherfucking Fade Podcast, your one-stop shop for everything TV, medium, film related, along with any of the goddamn thing we're going to talk about, coming to you live direct. Proof of Concept Studios, Baltimore City. What's crack lacking?
Yo, we were talking about this earlier, right? Weather's changing. It's football season. Like, it's like officially here.
Oh, man.
It's officially official.
Ooh, get a little frosty.
and you know it's football season when you get that first morning, right? It's like, damn, you've been going through like the trenches of the summer, and it's like that
And you
first
expect
morning.
the heat,
Yeah, and
and
you
then
come
you-
out and it's crisp. You're like,
Oh
"Ooh,
my! Let me
what's
go
that?"
back inside. Let
Yeah.
me put the little fucking little light coat on real quick.
Yeah, let me grab my sweater, just sip a tea outside because it's that season. I
it's
love
a good
it.
time.
I'm not gonna pretend like I love the fall. You know what I mean? Because it does
I do
get
love
bitter
the
and
fall.
cold. I really enjoy.
What gets bitter and cold about the fall?
Well, I mean, sometimes like as you go through like late like October, you know, what I mean?
Maybe November.
You'll have those. Well, I think November.
October is great.
November's
Come on.
technically winter, right?
No,
No?
I don't think winter starts until like maybe mid-December. I think.
Oh, I
Maybe
thought
even
winter
later
was
than
like mid November is when that season technically starts, and like fall is like September through like October or something like that. I could be wrong. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But anyway, that like first little crisp breeze you get, and you know it's like that,
December 21st through March 19th
Ooh,
is our.
I thought it was
winter.
much earlier.
No.
But yeah, you know that first little change in the weather that you get, you know it's football season. I do like early fall, like around this time, right, where I can still wear a t-shirt all throughout the day. I can still wear shorts, right? The benefit of it though is that like I'm not gonna be hot as balls all fucking day. At night you might be a little bit more on the chilly side, but like, you know, still comfortably chilly.
Yeah.
I like this time of the year, and I like, you know, mid-spring when like it's like consistently warm, but you haven't hit like, you know, insane heat yet.
Yeah. I like that. I like fall and spring. Those are my 2 months. Obviously, I don't think that's really
Early
much-
spring does suck
Why does early spring suck?
because that's like coming off of winter. It still be like cold, like you know, like in like early like April or
I
like
mean,
March is still
okay.
like.
I don't particularly consider it spring. I don't know. I'm you know, I'm going away from what I was just talking about in terms of the technical start of winter, but I don't really consider spring to start until I start hearing them birds, until I start fucking hearing them fucking whatever other sounds that, you know, there might be, maybe crickets or some shit. Like until I start hearing that type of shit,
Yeah,
it's still winter to me.
you wait for the groundhog.
Yeah. No, fuck the groundhog.
Yeah,
Bitch
is
is
that
always fucking.
Is that a real?
wrong.
Is there any like truth
No,
to that,
there's
or was
no
it just a movie?
science to it. It's just people.
Groundhogs
being
really don't be
stupid.
out there. Like, but isn't it like a national thing where it's like when we saw the first groundhog? You know, white
I don't
people be
know-
on
I
the
don't
news
even-
like we saw the first groundhog. That's officially spring.
I don't even know if it's. Well, no, I think it's to determine whether spring. Yeah, right. Spring starts or like it's like, is it spring like 2 weeks away or is it like 6 weeks away or some shit like that? I don't know the exact. Also, it's stupid. It's a fucking
Yeah.
groundhog. Okay, you see its shadow. That's science, not like a fucking. That's not a way.
Is that
to
what
tell-
it is? You're supposed to see the groundhog's shadow.
That's literally all. And I'm like, wait, what does that mean? Like,
Yeah.
you put light on it and you see the
but
shadow.
like, wouldn't it have to be
Hold
at a
on,
certain
let me-
time of day though.
Yeah,
Like you would have
I
to
think
be
that's
like
the thing. Is
between like 8 and like noon. His shadow needs to be facing east to signify. That's very complicated. Why are we betting this all on a groundhog?
Let's see, who started Groundhog? The Groundhog celebration was created by newspaper editor.
Newspaper editor. Goddamn. Fucking
Yo.
legend, this guy. He was like, I'm going to create some absolute bullshit. And hopefully it
That's how everything starts, dude. That's how it all fucking
It's
starts.
funny how
Some
you stopped
dude-
reading it as newspaper and then looked up.
Come on.
Yo,
Come
what,
on.
what are we talking about? No, what's his
What
name?
the
We have to
fuck?
say his name. Honor this man or
This
this woman.
motherfucker, this newspaper editor in Pun X. I don't even know how to fucking pronounce this place. Puxtinuani. I don't even know if that's correct. I don't think it is. Named Clymer Frius.
Clymer Frius? How do you spell Clymer?
Clymer. So the dumbest way possible. Yeah. Who was part of a groundhog hunting club. Jeez, and they hunted the fucking groundhog. Oh my god, this is a disaster.
Wait, his name's Clymer Frius. I'm guessing this guy's dead by now.
Freeze. Probably, I'd have to assume.
Clymer Freeze?
Yeah, F-R-E. Everything about this name stupid.
He sounds like the villain from Cliffhanger. Remember with Stallone?
How do you remember his name? What the fuck?
I don't know. It was him,
though. Yeah. So many sources claim that the original Groundhog Day took place in 1887 when residents of this same stupid town that I can't pronounce set out to Gobbler's Knob, known as Phil's official home, but first piece of evidence.
Yeah,
none of this makes
fuck
any
the
sense.
rest of this. Clymer Freeze, right? That's his name. Is it? I mean, both are remarkable, right? If you do something incredible, and then it's remembered, like, all throughout history, right?
Yeah.
But what if you do something like stupid, but it's still remembered and liked all throughout history?
That's like half of our history.
Yeah, very true.
So it goes. It derives from the Pennsylvania Dutch superstition that if a groundhog emerges from its burrow on this day and sees its shadow, it will retreat to its den, and winter will go on for 6 more weeks. If it does not see its shadow, spring will arrive early. This is often due to the weather being cloudy or clear, allowing for the groundhog. But that's so stupid.
None of that makes sense.
Yeah,
I feel like it's wildly inaccurate and highly dependent on like just the weather for that day,
and the fact that
we
still
where you
do
live
it
regionally. Yeah, there's so many unknown variables here.
Yeah, this is so dumb. So we're talking about the times of year, things going by. We can expect them. We can expect spring every year, summer every year, winter every year, fall. Also, the thing we can expect every year is the day of our births. And it just so happens that tomorrow is your day of birth.
Yeah, I think you're going to expect like a, like a celebratory thing. I don't give a fuck about birthdays.
No, you've made that very clear.
It's like, to me, it just be like,
Yeah.
I think there are birthdays that I've like celebrated more, 21, right? Well, like when you first become a teenager, right? When you become a teenager, it's 13. Yeah. Right? Yeah. That's literally the number. Yeah. Like 12, 13.
Yeah. I feel like a teenager is anything in the teens. So 11 or 10, I guess, is.
Yeah, but you're 10, you're 11, you're 12. Then 13, that's when you get it in the name of the number, right?
Sure.
So I think that's a pretty cool transition, right? You can actually say I'm a teenager because I'm 13. Yep. Then 18, then 21, 25. I feel like that's like a, hey, I'm a fucking adult now.
What happens at 25?
I think like little stupid things. Like you can't rent a car until you're 25. There are certain like legal things you cannot.
I feel like that's literally the only thing.
I think there are certain legal.
And I think that's only in certain.
It's all like state
car companies,
with the provider, certain states, blah blah blah. Yeah. But I think there are certain legal things that you cannot do until the age of 25. Like, do I have a list of those things?
Yeah, I
don't
think
know.
that's the only thing.
I think there are more because like 25 is like a threshold. It's like
18 is the biggest threshold, and then the next one is 21 because of drinking, and then 25 maybe because of just this one thing.
Or it might just be like a social thing where at 25, that's when like people see you as like you're fully an adult. No,
I don't see.
I think anyone under the age of 25, to me, like you're kind of still like you're a young man, right? You're 25 or older, you're a grown man. That
why?
I don't know. It's just a thing. Who knows?
You're making it a thing. Why are you making it a thing?
Why do we see 13 as a teen but not 12?
I do. I just explained why.
You're the only one. You're the only one. So anyway,
I love how you ignore the shit that I say.
You're the only one. I need larger sample pool of fucking data. Anyway, I don't even remember why we were talking about this.
No, your birthday.
Okay. Shit's gonna happen. It's gonna be fun. But I'm only turning 34. Like to me, that's like, I'm happy to be here.
How was your Jesus year?
What's that?
33.
Oh,
because that's like the only time.
Scottie Pippen. Fuck Jesus.
Jesus.
Yeah, I'm not religious. They're probably
Yikes.
They're probably people who listen to this podcast who are extremely religious.
Whoa.
I'm not religious either, so I don't really care. Do you think that he's gonna be like, oh, people say it all the time. Why did he create me?
No,
if
you know what?
want me
You
to
know
say
how
it?
I approach it, man, is that Jesus seemed like a pretty chill dude. He seemed pretty chill. I mean, they say he did a lot of like, you know, magical shit. Okay, fair enough. I'm not approving or disproving.
He's killed in like the plagues
He's
and
killed?
flooding and fires.
I said
and-
Jesus, not God. Even though he's supposed to be the embodiment of God.
Yeah, what do you mean?
Jesus the person.
Then he
Jesus
enabled
was
his,
a dude.
He never talked to God like, hey, we should stop the famine and the plague and the disease.
We don't have the transcripts for that. We didn't have that on. That's not on YouTube.
COVID-19 and then like K-pop. You know,
Hey,
like
man,
we
that's his,
shouldn't
that's his
allow
daddy.
any of this.
That's his daddy. Are you gonna be held liable for all your daddy's decisions?
I think they're both wildly negligent.
The son and the father, right? Okay.
Both of them.
and the Holy Spirit.
All powerful and all of this like terrible shit's happening. They could like fix it, but they're just like irresponsible.
I don't know, dude.
Irresponsible.
I think I can't
family.
be held responsible for my father's actions, and I don't think Jesus should be held responsible for his. Okay?
Does Jesus have the same powers as God? Like
I don't know. I think it's by proxy, right? It's like, you know, when somebody gives you the keys to their car, it's like it's not your car, but I mean you're driving the bitch though, you know.
Fair. I mean,
You know?
I kind of follow that, but like. I mean, he died on the cross, then he put him in the cave, and then he came back from he turned water into wine. Pretty powerful. He could start his own liquor company.
Yeah, look,
right?
man. It's
The Rock, George Clooney, they're all doing it. He might as well get in the game. Fucking, he like split the river.
that was Moses.
That was Moses.
Yeah.
Damn, Moses is
Yeah.
powerful too. Everybody had powers back then. What happened to powers? Like, why did we evolve to lose powers? Noah, one man, built the ark. Master engineer. Why is that still not a thing?
Well, you still have engineers. What are you talking about?
But like, imagine building the ark now. It would cost $17 million.
Only if you wanted it to.
Come on now.
It depends on what you build it out
To
of.
build an ark.
It's not. Hey, look, it's not gonna fucking have the state of the art. It was out of wood, my guy.
Yeah,
All right?
so where are you
You're
going to
not
get the
have
lumber? You're going to
fucking-
get the lumber through like Lumber 84, right?
Okay,
The lumber.
well, they weren't there in inflation times.
And
Okay,
do you know how much,
So that-
do you know how much lumber you'd need to build an ark that holds two of every animal in the world? You know, that would cost millions.
And also, we're talking about stories. Okay, we're getting so fucking far from what I was
someone
talking.
has to ask the
How
question.
was 33? That's my main question here.
33 was good. See, I look
Yeah.
at that as like your Scottie Pippen year. You know what I mean?
What does that mean?
Because he wore number 33.
No, I know that. Okay, what does it mean for your Scottie Pippen year?
That means like you are like
Here he's gonna make up something right on the fly.
no, it's like you know, you're for me like the
gonna
year I
be
bought a
amazing.
house, the year I kind of like took on
How
a
does
lot
that-
of like
how's that-
fine.
how's
Well,
that
like
translate
when
to
you're in your
Scottie
Kobe
Pippen?
year, what does that mean? It doesn't mean anything. It just means you're 24.
No,
if you're in your
it's
Pippen
different
year,
from my Jesus year, right? Because Jesus was 33 when basically when we the
Was
main
he?
time. No, the main.
How do we know that?
The main.
we
because-
know Scottie Pippen wore number 33. We do not know shit about Jesus. It could be a fucking made up fairy tale.
Okay,
So don't
whatever.
talk to me in all seriousness
continue with-
about Jesus died at 33. Do you have his medical records? No, we don't, but I have footage of Scottie Pippen and Jordan in 97, 98 when they went back to back to the
All right,
championships.
Okay. What is that? Okay, what is that? I stopped you while you were
Because
talking
I've
about-
seen
you
one
bought a
guy.
house.
Yeah, so like you know, like you're reaching the the point of your success, right? Or
Yeah.
not the pinnacle of your success,
Yeah.
but like you're starting to become more successful
Yeah.
in your life. You're more grounded. You're more aware of who you are.
Yeah.
You know, Scottie Pippen. I think people like look at his role or who he was like
Yeah.
on the Bulls, and
Yeah.
Michael Jordan was. That's the first name people remember, but people don't forget that Michael was nothing before Scottie Pippen got there. He literally lost every single fucking year to the Pistons, to the Lakers, to the
Yeah.
to the.
Do you remember the original question I asked you?
the
How
Celtics.
was your 33rd year?
It was
That's
great.
the fucking original question.
It was like when Scottie Pippen was on the Bulls.
Jesus Christ. You know what is interesting is that I wish during your 33rd year that you would have started a business. That's what I wish for you, right? But there's still time. There's still time. You still have time being 33 that you can start your business. I'm going to help you start your business. Do you want to know how?
How?
I'll be right back.
Okay. Is there a gift here? feel like you got me a gift. Oh, these are why birthdays are so stressful, because people get you gifts, and then you feel like you have to like, fuck, now I got to give you a great gift on your birthday or Christmas, whatever comes next. There's a lot of pressure, there's a lot of stress here. My mom and my brother hit me up like, yo, what do you want for your birthday? And I was like, bro, send me like, what is it? Is this Uncle? Is this? Oh, we got the Uncle Shay. Is that the,
Okay. So
Is that the Uncle Shay? What is this? I like the glass. It's beautiful. It's
so
wonderful.
you know, anybody who's familiar with the Fade podcast,
This is
with any sort of regularity, you know that we love our inside jokes, we love our callbacks. One of the greatest callbacks of this podcast of all time, we talked about a very distinguished brand of whiskey. That whiskey was indeed
Oh man, this is
Maryland Man whiskey. Go and have you a swig.
How'd you get this?
Don't worry about all that.
I poured this shit out. Let me
Like
just
Jesus,
finish it.
you know, you make miracles happen, you know. So we've got Maryland Man whiskey. It's fine. It's distinguished.
This is the coolest thing I've seen ever.
It's amazing the way this tastes. It tastes like Maryland is what it tastes like.
We got the cameras
Yeah,
up there.
there it is.
There it
Hold
is.
on, I'll put up the single shot.
Yeah, this is beautiful.
Yeah.
The glass is beautiful. The penmanship is beautiful. Thank you, dude. This is a fucking awesome gift, man. I gotta
No
pour
problem.
it up. I gotta pour it
No
up
problem.
really quickly.
Before
It's heavy too. It's got some great weight.
a
Should
little bit
I-
of weight. Yeah, before we actually do it, because we could do a little toast here. One business isn't enough. I feel like you need to diversify these days, right?
Yeah.
You need different streams.
Okay.
Okay, might not have been on a podcast. This might not have been on a podcast, but
Damn. What is this one?
it's something that we laugh about, we joke about,
I
and
think
nobody
I know.
else understands it. It's perfectly fine. When you're doing something for somebody, and they're like, "Yo, this is gonna take less than an hour. It's
Yeah,
gonna
what
be
do you
real
charge
quick."
hourly?
Oof. What do? You tell them
2 hour minimum.
you do a 2-hour minimum.
Yo, I cannot fucking wait to wear this shirt at like the next most appropriate time. I'm doing something for somebody. Somebody's like, "Hey, can you help me out with this thing?" I'm gonna fucking wear.
Just look at the shirt. Just look at the shirt.
It might be you.
Yeah.
Hey, Rain, are you free on Sunday?
You just hit them with just the two.
Yo, I appreciate this. This might be one of the most just like uniquely thoughtful two gifts that I've ever gotten. This is fly, and I like the material on this shirt.
Hey man, I've been plotting for a while that this was. I knew I was going to go in this direction. I didn't know exactly how it turned out, but
Yeah, I cannot wait to wear this shirt. I swear
yeah,
to
man.
you.
You know what? Let's have a little bit. I shouldn't even pour this beer. Let's have a little bit of this Maryland Man whiskey.
Then we're just gonna chop it about what the fuck ever on this podcast. I know we do got something here, you know, on the cards, and I think we kind of started this conversation before we actually started recording. I'm gonna talk you guys through this for no reasons. If you're listening and not watching, I'm just gonna go ahead and pour us a sippable drink.
Yeah.
Because I don't know about you, but I don't take shots of whiskey.
Yeah, I don't like shots of whiskey. I don't like that.
It's aggressive.
Yeah. What are we
The
doing?
fuck am I? Like, do you ever see people in the movies and they're at a bar and they're just like drinking bourbons, another, and the bartender slides the glass down and it doesn't spill, right?
Yeah.
And then just like another, right?
Yeah.
Who's taking 4 or 5 shots of whiskey
Who the fuck knows?
back to back?
Hey man,
Let me.
happy
Close up.
birthday.
Thank you,
Turning
Captain.
34.
Appreciate you, good brother.
It's a good year.
Very good year.
Salud.
Every year that you get to see is a good year.
Truly. Yeah, I've been really fucking grateful, man. There's this. So you know, I have obviously but maybe the rest of them don't know. Although every now and then they'll hear them bark. I've got 2 dogs, and we have to give them numerous walks throughout the day. One of the things that I just discovered, like in the last month, is so I've given them walks, and I usually go the same route every single time, right? 3 walks a day. It wasn't until this sort of spring into summer into what is going to be now fall that there's a stretch on this route that I'm like, every time I walk on it, and especially during the a certain time of the day, I'm like, this is fucking heaven. I don't know what it is about this route other than there's this stretch of leaves, but through the leaves it's a direct beeline to the sun. That at a certain time of day, the sun is like right fucking there.
Yeah.
And so you got the sun just bleeding through the leaves, and then it leads to this like sort of open area where there's no trees. There's just the sun, but through that patch where there's the trees, as I'm walking the dogs, I'm just like, I'm so glad to be alive right now, to experience this. This is fucking amazing. This is so relaxing, so soothing. The dogs are kind of just doing their dog thing, and I'm just walking and just having a merry old fucking time. Everybody's good. It's a fucking good time to be alive.
Yeah, man. It's hard to like stay in that frame of mind, right? Where you're always, and it's not like, it's very difficult to always be appreciative, because sometimes the life that you're living right now seems like, oh, this is everything. Like, this is my entire life. Like, this problem that I'm going through right now is my entire life.
Yeah.
Not knowing that, like, you know, you still have a long way to go. There's still a lot more that you're going to go through. And I forget who said it, but it was like, the short version of it was, every single obstacle you face, like the simple fact that you're here today means that every single obstacle you face in your life has not like killed you.
Yeah.
Right?
It was an insurmountable.
So 33 was a good year. Tomorrow's 34. Yeah. Now, I mean, I know we just talked about God and Jesus, right? And I know I said a lot of nasty things.
I take it all back.
I didn't mean any of it, okay? This is just for entertainment.
This is just entertainment.
When they're going through the list of who's going to make it to tomorrow, I hope I'm on it. And I'll be thankful for it, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Happy fucking birthday, dude.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Go ahead and take this sip.
Yeah. Tastes like Maryland.
We always talk about this.
Yeah.
What is, can I, so this is.
Yeah, you can guess.
This is either Woodford Reserve or Knob Creek.
No to either, but no, I don't, at least in my humble opinion, not that far off. But let me tell you sort of the backstory is, at first I was going to do a special blend because I found this place that does special blends, and I was like, all right, that'd be dope to create some shit that, you know, you can't get anywhere else. This is the only thing, you know. But then that just got too complicated, and I was like, let me ditch that idea, okay?
Yeah.
And then I was like, with some help of my significant other, I was like, I want I want a true, like, if we're gonna call this Maryland Man whiskey, it's got to be from Maryland, right?
Yeah.
So of course Sagamore.
I should have, I should have thought that. I don't know why.
But what even frustrated me further was I wanted this to be a particular Sagamore, but they didn't have that anymore, only because you never shut up about this cherry oak flavor that you like.
Yes.
And they had the perfect one.
Yeah.
But it was an addition that they don't currently sell anymore, and so I looked everywhere, but I couldn't fucking find it.
I'm telling you, you gotta get on the whiskey program. And I noticed we were drinking. We had dinner at a friend's house the other night. We were drinking some wine, and I noticed you're still not on the wine program, dude.
No, dude, it depends on the wine. If it's white wine, I can bang with it. Red wine gives me the bubbles. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, so you have like a reaction to it.
Yeah, it's just I don't know what it is about red specifically, but something about it just like I pay for it later, so I try to stay away from it wherever I can. Yeah.
I think red wines are like the flavor profiles are like so much greater, than what you.
No, it's definitely a more sophisticated grown person's wine, but also
I don't shit on people who like white wine. Like you like what you like.
You just did.
Okay, I don't. I wouldn't kick them if they were down. I'd help them up slowly. But like, I do think that white wine, or maybe in just my experience, because I haven't really, really, really gone out and tried like every white wine.
Yeah.
But it feels like because it's meant to be more of like a lighter touch on the palate. Sometimes it's hard to like have that like true like. Ooh, I can taste like this like note in it, whether it's like the fucking figs or whether it's like this type of like wood or this smokiness, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
in red wine you can do that. So like that's kind of like why I like whiskeys, because like sometimes you take a sip of it and you're like, oh shit, I can taste the grass, or I can tell the type of wood, or this is a smoked one, this is a maple, like.
Yeah, I think I'm specifically not a whiskey person because of that. And weirdly enough, the only I just taste it and I'm just like it literally tastes all the same to me, right? Except for single malt Scotch. For some reason I'm like, oh shit, this is a little different, this tastes different. I wouldn't be able to fucking describe to you what the fucking difference is.
I always feel like Scotch is like it's kind of like it's like a bitterness to it.
Yeah,
or
Scotch,
it might be like a saltiness.
Scotch
I don't know what it
is a whiskey, so it's just like a different sort of.
Yeah, I'm thinking about I like what is that one Scotch? Fucking Green Label, Blue Label, Black Label.
Are you talking about
Johnny Walker?
Johnny Walker?
Yeah,
I don't think I'm not sure if that's
Pretty
a
sure
Scotch.
Johnny Walker
I think
Scotch.
it's a whiskey.
Really?
Yeah, I think there's just. Let's see.
Let's see. We can figure this shit out right
Google
now.
machine says to us,
Scotch or whiskey? That's a Scotch whiskey. Yeah, Scotch whiskey. I don't know. That's Johnny Walker's the only like
Scotch is a whiskey
I like, or whatever.
Yeah. So technically, you would be right then, because it's saying.
I do think it does have a much more of like a distinct flavor. Like when you're drinking Johnny Walker and you're drinking Sagamore.
Yeah.
You can tell.
Yeah.
I feel like one is like just because like the depending on like what kind of Scotch or whiskey it is, it might be a little bit like sweeter. Like for example, like cherry oak, Doug fir, or leather, or grass, like might be a little bit sweeter. Where Scotch for me, it's always like tart or bitter. That's why I'm not a Scotch guy, and I don't pretend to be.
Yeah,
Scotch guys are like lawyers who've like defended. If you defended, what do you think Robert Kardashian had?
Oh Jesus!
When he got home. Push Chloe to the side like, you're no daughter of mine. I just got your father off of murder. What do you think he had to drink?
Fuck if I know.
He had a Scotch.
Into weird territory. We have money to spend on scotches or whiskeys in general or whatever the fuck it is, right? What we're not going to fucking have money for anymore is these goddamn streaming services. It's motherfucking streaming services.
Did anybody increase their price recently? Who's the last?
I'm sorry.
Streaming
it sounded
price
like you just
increaser.
asked if they increased their. No shit, they increased their prices. Let me pull up my doc here. I forgot that this was my computer that didn't have the app that we have all the Trello on it. Let's see here. Okay, streaming is getting more expensive, and you know what? What I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna try to pull this up on the computer so you can see the chart, right?
You know what I fucking hate, and I know how to beat this, but I always forget how to do it. How to like get around, websites ask you to like sign up for our yearly subscription to fucking random shit magazine.
Random shit.
Like no, I don't want to sign up for it. I just want to read the fucking article that some dumbass wrote. Someone who went to college who was like, yo, I want to be a great writer. And now they're writing for like fucking Vanity Fair's What's New on Streaming.
Some wouldn't call that a bad deal.
I mean, yeah, probably not. But you didn't go to school for that. You wanted to be a great writer. Now you're like, Netflix has increased their prices to $12.99.
Hey, man, you got to pay the bill somehow.
But you work a second job because you live in New York City, because that's where Vanity Fair is, right? You wanted to be a great writer. Now you're bartending after you just published that shitty article about streaming's price hikes.
Yeah.
On Forbes magazine. Who wrote this? This is Brian Busher. It's like, Brian, I don't mean to shit on you, Brian. You're probably a great guy.
He's probably a decent
probably
dude.
a good husband and a father. He probably buy Maryland Man whiskey. Yeah. Brian, you're gonna be our first
drinking
customer.
it right now. So you can see from this chart that we have here, sort of what the ads are, or what the streaming is going to look like in the very near future. In this article from one, well, I don't know which article you're reading, but I'm reading this article from Daniel Howley with Yahoo Finance.
Yep.
He talks about basically like the gold rush of the streaming era being over. Essentially, what it means is that like a lot of this stuff was based on subscribers, right? So the fact that you like a lot of their business models was based on just attracting new subscribers to their streaming services, but that's becoming unsustainable as the shit gets saturated, right? So you have enough people who are already subscribed to your shit, and you're not able to continually add quarter after quarter adding millions of people, right?
Yeah.
And so what do you do in that case? Well, now you have to start doing ads, right? So now you have ad tiers. That and just hiking the prices overall, right? So instead of paying, $7 something for the streaming service, well, now you're paying 15. Now you're doubling the shit, right? And the people already like the concept there, so they're like, fuck it, right? So really, in reality, it's like, well, what's really stopping you from jacking that shit up even more, right? In which case, now we're just paying what we fucking paid for cable. That's where
basically,
we're at.
yeah. Like if you put together the bill for the top 3
It's
streaming
probably
services
more.
you use,
It's probably more
yeah.
because that combined, you didn't need internet for cable,
Yeah.
right? That
You
those
know-
two things can be separate.
You know what's funny?
Yeah.
So I signed into my. Fuck, I probably shouldn't say this, but I will. I signed into my Netflix account at my mom's place recently, right?
Yeah.
And then Netflix did this like disrespectful thing where they asked me like if I wanted to pay more for like more premium picture quality, right?
Yeah.
Which means
For like the 4K shit.
which is basically them saying like, yo, I'm gonna give you this dog shit version, or you can pay me a little bit more for the better version, right?
I thought it was just like the 4K version. Like, because I think they have just like the regular streaming shit, and then they have 4K, which is meant for like obviously 4K TVs and shit.
Yeah. So like TVs are like 5K now, right? Every year
Were
is
you watching
another
on a 5K
K.
TV?
I'm pretty sure the TV that was a brand new like 65-inch, like the newest whatever TV they had at Walmart, right? Just give me the new one with the most stickers at the bottom. I just want a lot of stickers that mean the fiber optics, the fucking digital Blu-ray, the Dolby. I want that sticker. Then it has like the streaming sticker, then the warranty sticker. I want the one with the most stickers.
Yeah.
But they ask you to your face. They're like, should we give you what we can, or should we give you a shittier version? Because that's like literally what it is. They can give you the top shit, but they're like, you're gonna have to pay for that, or we can give you this like dog shit.
I mean, that's capitalism, right? Where it's just like the same shit that we've had. Like, I think they're even starting to do that with cars, where they're starting to like charge you for certain features, right?
Yes. Yeah. BMW has now started charging their the vehicle owners to use the massaging or the heated seats in the cars.
Like, it's like a monthly fee or some shit?
Yeah.
That's fucking insane, dude.
That is...
Motherfucker.
that's
I will push my
disrespectful.
own fucking massage.
Can you
chair in this
imagine
bitch.
you forgot, like, you got a new credit card because you lost yours, left yours at a bar.
You can't
right?
fucking have your heat warm as dead of
It's
winter.
like December. Yeah, you get into your car. You're like, I already paid too much for this 3 Series anyway. Let me get into my car.
What happens if you buy the old cars, though? Because I imagine that's effectively what the
They probably
resolution for
push
that
the
is.
software update to the old cars where it's like,
How can they, though? Do you get what I mean? Like, they would have to change like the internal workings of the car itself in order to like do that, because
I don't know. I think depending on how late of a model it is, right?
Yeah, true,
Some
yeah.
models, like for example, my Jeep, they can push a software update for the
but
for
only
the
to
navigation system to my Jeep,
but
I
not to
have sign
control
up for
certain
the-
things, meaning that like they can't send a signal to your car to turn your shit off. They don't have
Can
that.
they?
I don't think so, dude.
I think
No, I
wouldn't be
think with the
surprised.
newer models, sure, because they've built that technology into it. But for the older shit, there's got to be a certain.
Well, yeah.
You know what
I mean, depending on how late of a model, right?
Exactly,
So I
yeah.
think like if the vehicle is equipped with like any type of like I know my car, they can push the navigation update to the vehicle from wherever the fuck they are in like Wisconsin or whatever, you know what I mean, wherever the office is.
Why was
So I would imagine, and like if you have OnStar in your
like
vehicle,
BMW in Wisconsin?
listen, I don't know if it's a tax shelter. Did you know that?
I'm pretty sure BMW is a foreign company, right?
Yeah, but if you have like a U.S. office, you want it in like in a state that has
Well, they
that's a
don't have to
tax
pay any
shelter.
taxes
Was that?
because they're a foreign company.
But if you're operating on soil, there might be like state tax, whatever that you have to abide by, right?
Okay.
So, what you want to do is do that in states that are tax shelters: Delaware, Wisconsin, those types of places.
All right. Well,
Anyway.
let's go through this price hike. So Netflix, for their ad tier, $6.99, right? So you'll watch the shit, but you'll get ads in the shit, right? Which honestly, I understand why they're doing it, but also fuck you, Netflix, for doing that. And now they're jumping for the premium, I guess. Well, not the premium, but the standard joint that I guess doesn't have ads would be $15.49, which is effectively like what I'm paying right now, right?
Yeah.
Their premium joint where you get the Ultra HD. So I think this is what you're talking about is $20, and you can get 3 users on it, right?
Companies need to. I feel like this is so disrespectful. Don't tell me it's $19.99.
Yeah, just go with 20, dude.
Tell me
let's
it's $20,
keep it a buck with each other.
motherfucker.
Literally,
Like-
let's keep it a penny with each other.
We're not stupid. Like we understand. It is just
No, we are
Well,
stupid.
yeah.
No, not even some of us.
You're right.
We all
You're
are
right.
stupid
Yeah.
because there's a difference between me seeing $14.99 and $15.
You know what?
I see $14.99, I'm like, all right, cool. I see 15, I'm like, nope, absolutely not.
That's 3 5s. I don't want to spend 3 5s. Yo, I was at the grocery store the other day and I was looking at chicken, just packs of chicken, fucking processed growth hormone Montesanto chicken that I'm buying.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm looking at the shit and one was like, I picked one up and it was like, and I'm just getting like 4 packs of like chicken thighs. I pick it up and it's like $4.86. I pick up the other one, it's like $4.76. I'm like, I don't want to feel cheap, so let me get the $4.86.
And it's just by the fucking pound. It doesn't even like.
Or somebody probably is in the back like, I don't give a fuck.
No,
I'm
it's
off
literally
work.
by the like how much it weighs is determines how much it costs.
Yeah, listen, if you're the guy in the back and you've got a label price stickers on 100 chickens. You're not gonna eyeball some
I don't
of
think
them
there's.
motherfuckers?
I'm not even sure if there's a person labeling this shit. I think
Yo,
it's
there's
people. It's like a machine labeling.
Purdue ships the dirty chicken into the grocery store. They send the dirty chicken in, and then the people at the grocery store they price it, right? Because sometimes there might be a sale on like poison chicken.
No,
meat.
I'm sorry. That's the extra label you're seeing on top. So if you see some sort of label on top that says, "Oh, we're marking this down" or whatever the case is, then cool. But or let me put it this way.
For example, the sticker that's on the pack of chicken that I bought, right?
Yeah.
That is the sticker that giant food stores put
on
on
it.
the chicken
Yeah, you're
when
correct,
they
Bob.
weighed it and
Correct.
like did the price.
Correct, yeah.
Right? But it was a 10-cent difference. And I'm like, let me spend because I don't want a fucking salmonella or E. coli, right? I just watched the documentary
Again,
on
it's
that.
not.
I just watched the
it has
documentary.
nothing to do with the quality.
I watched the documentary on that about
Yeah.
on the $15.49 version of Netflix, which I wonder if they like, we're gonna pull some shit. You're not gonna get the whole experience
With Netflix,
Do you think they're gonna start doing that?
in terms of
Like, what if like they don't give you everything? Like, what do you think the next thing that they're gonna start to do is, right? Like, if you pay $15.99 for the no ads, we'll give you the whole season, right?
no. I don't think they'll.
We'll
they'll
give you a
fuck-
season every 3 months. We're
No,
gonna
no,
give you
no.
all
I
of
don't
them.
think they'll fuck with the content because that's literally the reason why people are there. They're
Well, not
gonna-
the quality of the content, the availability of the content. Do you think that is the
No,
next tier?
I'm not even saying the quality of the content. I'm saying I'm talking to the availability of it. The reason why I'm signing up for Netflix is to watch Stranger Things, not to be like, oh, well, you've got to pay $20 extra or $5 extra to see the rest of the seasons for Netflix. At that point, I don't really give a shit about fucking Stranger Things.
Yeah.
No offense. Even now at this point, I'm teetering dangerously on the edge of I don't give a shit that much. Like there's nothing you're producing where I'm going to be paying $20 to all you motherfuckers. So let's look at this, right? So on screen right now, there's 12. There's 12 streaming services on screen. I have 11 of the 12 on screen, right? And Discovery Plus, I don't even understand because isn't that the same thing as like didn't they merge with Warner? So isn't it Warner
I think so.
Discovery?
But like the
But it's two
audacity of these motherfuckers to put a plus sign behind it and think that means I should
Plus.
play extra.
Yeah. So that means if I'm paying $20, let's just say averagely we're paying $20 on the only one who isn't is Apple because they're like, we don't need your money.
Yeah.
They're just laughing at you.
We already control
motherfuckers.
you.
We don't need your money. We have everything in your house already. All the shit you own is already Apple. We don't give a fuck. So that's what. Let's say if they charge $20, right? So that's well over what $200 there that you're paying, right? So that's 20, 40, 60, 80, 1, 20, 40, $60, well, somewhere around there. It's close to $200, right? And there's just no way, dog. Like, there's just no way.
Yeah.
Combined with what I'm already paying for the internet, combined with I'm also, I have YouTube TV because I want to watch live sports, and I need a way to do that outside of, because I just cut the cord recently, and it felt very cathartic to do that, but also and the reason why I hesitated for so long is because I'm like, my brain
you guys
is like,
had cable?
we had cable.
Whoa!
No,
irresponsible.
No, okay, no, is it though? Truly, like when you really think about it, because we're just I'm paying a certain amount for YouTube TV, and I'm also paying for the internet as well. So I'm not that far off.
Yeah.
And
how many streaming services like are you paying for directly, and not like other people's like sign?
I pay for all my own shit because
Really?
I don't like. I'm not doing that. If I'm
irresponsible.
How is that irresponsible?
Time out.
No, first of all of them are cracking down on password sharing.
Yo,
so if you
I
weren't
mean,
paying for it before,
Catch me when you catch me, bitch. I don't know what to
they're
tell.
about to catch you soon. Is the point of that?
But like, we're not gonna go to jail, so I'm just gonna wait until.
No, they're just gonna cut your shit. They're not gonna let you watch it.
Ooh, wow! I can't.
You said, ooh.
I can't watch season 12.
No, but okay, so you're in the middle of fucking Love Island. You're like, oh man, they're about to recouple. Your shit just cuts, and they're like, sorry.
I just Google like UK porn on Pornhub. It's free. It's the same shit.
Why don't you just start off with that? Why do you have to watch UK Love Island first?
Because one's romantic, the other is just
well, all right, you'll be
slutty pornification.
Missing out on the romanticism of it. My main point to this is that and I heard recently that they're going to start. They're thinking about doing a thing that we talked about a while ago, which was bundling all this shit together. And now what do we have? Cable. That's what we have.
Yeah.
Except for just cable. And even worse than cable, because now our internet service provider is fully in charge of not only in terms of our internet, of how we can surf the web, do all this. Do people even say surf the web anymore? I feel like that's an archaic
way
to say surf the web.
You say your age when you say surf.
Yeah.
Like if you listen closely,
Yeah.
It's like surf the web, but it's like, I'm 30. 30 plus.
What's TikTok? What's flossing? I don't know what that means. What does cap mean?
You're saying like what injuries you have.
Yeah. Like at a certain point, like, so you're on the net, they control your internet, so they control that, but now they control TV, right? So you trying to watch whatever fucking program, you can't do that separately without paying them an ass load of money, and they can charge you at this point, and I'm pretty sure they got rid of the ability to regulate that in terms of how much they can actually charge you for. I think net neutrality, I think was the big thing about that, and I think that I need to go brush up on where that actually landed, because the last time I heard that it was basically either teetering on the edge or it actually just fell off the cliff in terms of them being able to control that. So we're somehow in a worser position than we started off at, even though we were lured into it with, oh, you can stream this and you can do that, and it's fine because it's really fucking cheap compared to cable. They're not running those ads anymore. You remember all those fucking ads of like, cut the cord. Now they don't even advertise it. Bitch, we don't need to.
Yeah.
You're already dependent on us.
I feel like the cable companies, they realize what these streaming services have done, right? And they're like, okay, like we're gonna start like, for example, when I signed up for Xfinity, it came with the Peacock bundle, right? So that means Peacock and Xfinity, like, hey, we're gonna form a partnership, and what was that?
It's one and the same.
Xfinity and Peacock? Like Peacock is owned by NBC.
I think they're all owned by the same company. The same
overarching company. Xfinity is Verizon, right? Verizon Xfinity?
No, it's not. It's Comcast.
So Comcast owns Xfinity?
I believe NBC. I want to say NBC Universal.
Because I'm pretty sure it's Verizon is the provider for like Xfinity Internet.
Xfinity is literally Comcast. Literally, not. I'm not that I know for sure.
You're right. Okay. Anyway, fuck it. That's so Comcast Corporation does own Xfinity, right? So if does Comcast own NBC?
No. Or maybe did I get that wrong? Maybe they don't own it. Or
I thought like NBC was because Comcast is essentially a cable provider. They're a service provider. Comcast isn't a entertainment company.
I'm sorry. Wrong way around. Comcast actually owns NBC Universal.
Okay, and NBC is Peacock, right?
Yeah.
Holy
Catch
shit.
them coming and
Listen,
going.
at this point, this isn't, we live in a more, modern industrialized world. So we're not bending the knee, but we're spreading the cheeks, right? So it's like, who of these three, of the three that we have on the screen here, if we still have it up?
Yeah. Who we have to keep?
Who are you spreading the cheeks for?
I think Max. I think, although I'm still getting a little bit more scrupulous, but they just produce great content.
Yeah,
there's just no denial.
And they have great oldies too, because like HBO's done so much. Like there's so much great old. You can go back and
between
watch the
specials
Sopranos if you want to.
Yeah, and shows.
Yeah,
and even like their movie catalog is it's pretty fucking epic. I think Max stays. I want to say the only reason why Peacock stays for me is because they have the WWE network, and I'm addicted to old school wrestling.
Peacock.
Yeah,
Peacock
and then
stays.
Yeah, Peacock stays. The only other one after that, I think just by process of elimination is Netflix. I feel like Netflix stays, but they gotta prove. They gotta start proving to me that they gotta start earning their keep here. Everything else can pretty much go. I don't need Disney. Disney Plus might be gone. I can't tell you the last thing I watched on Disney Plus where I was like, oh, I can tell you the last thing I watched on it was Andor. That was the last thing I watched. I was like, this is fucking amazing. I'm interested in Ahsoka. I've heard good things about it, but also you keep putting all this I just watched Secret Invasion. That's not keeping me around.
Yeah, well, that's more Marvel than Disney. That's like a subdivision.
It's literally Disney. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's a subdivision. Like, Disney's like. But they're also like National Geo. So here's why. And let me give you my. You gave your three. Let me give you mine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Max, Disney Plus, and Apple TV.
Max, Disney.
I didn't have Netflix for a while.
TV. Yeah.
And it was fine because like Apple TV, I think they are slowly but surely becoming, because they have so much money, they can like buy it or produce.
I think there's rumors
content.
that they're looking into buying Netflix.
Really?
There's rumors. There's chirps.
Yeah.
Little chirps.
Apple TV has surprisingly been incredible with like the
because they can afford to. They don't care. They're just like,
that's what I'm saying.
We're just gonna produce whatever we want.
I could let go of Netflix now because I feel like Apple TV, slowly but surely, it's a lot of really, really good content coming. Disney Plus, it's Disney. They have Marvel. They have National Geographic. They have ESPN. They have Disney owns Hulu. So I get all of that through my Disney bundle, right?
Yeah.
And then Max, right, because they just have so much great, rich content.
Yeah.
I could do away with
Paramount
Prime.
Plus is where
I like the challenge. The only show I really watch on Paramount Plus is the challenge.
The only thing that Paramount Plus has going for right now is that it's still cheap.
Yeah.
At least in comparison to everything else.
The cheapest one, though, right here, if I'm correct, is Apple TV, right?
But we established that they don't give a fuck. So, I'm discounting it. Out of all the ones who actually need to turn a profit.
Yeah, Apple's out here being... all the other networks like, fuck you motherfuckers, raise your prices.
I was like, cool.
You're going to starve us out.
I wonder what that's like.
Yeah, we don't need to.
You ever had somebody hit you with that line?
I don't know what that's like. Yeah.
No. I wonder, I wonder what that's like. It's like, that's disrespectful.
Yeah.
Dude. Like, I'm so far from you. I wonder.
Yeah.
I'm so curious.
I never
what
even
is it
knew.
like for that life? Yeah, what does that mean? I think that's how Apple TV sees literally all the other ones. Is like, you're struggling for money, huh? That's interesting. What is? I don't know what that's like.
Logo. I don't like Apple TV's
I don't like any
logo.
of them.
Because it's three things. If there's the Apple, there's the Word TV, and then there's the Plus. It's three things. It looks kind of ugly and jumbled. They should fix it. I mean, Netflix.
It's it communicates literally their name.
Yeah, but like it's ugly. I get it, but it's ugly.
Sure.
Netflix, Netflix is great. Like it's simple, right?
Yeah.
So now the ugly offenders. There's Discovery Plus. That's terrible. I don't like Prime Video. I just feel like it's just a lot of letters. Max. I feel like I preferred HBO Plus. Or was it HBO Max?
It was HBO Max.
Somehow I preferred HBO Max. Max just sounds like
Max is stupid.
Yeah, stupid as fuck.
Yeah, because like now I'm like, is it like Cinemax? Is it a guy named Max? Like what?
There might have been some confusion there for some people. Like let's say you're not like super like techie, right? And then you just but you're watching the Sopranos. You know, Grandpa's watching the Sopranos, right? And then he comes and it was HBO Max.
Poor
Now
Gramps.
it's Max. No,
Yeah, he's
it's a
confused.
fucking heart attack.
Yeah. It's a heart attack. He dies because of this. Holy shit. Yeah, I think that the moral to this story is that the honeymoon phase is over. Now we are back down to earth where, again, capitalism reaches, it's so funny, man, when people talk about like things just work themselves out, or, prices will be kept low because that's what the market would demand. Bull fucking shit.
Yeah, everything gets more expensive
Bullshit.
all the time.
Yeah.
Anyone who says, "Oh, it'll work," it's like, no. What they're saying is like, you're fucked.
Yeah.
I know the secret, and that's just gonna be like, just make more money.
And you know what makes it really a huge difference here is time. Meaning that they are smart in that they don't double the price, right? At least actually they're about to do that right now. But how they kind of lulled us to sleep was, oh yeah, just letting you know it's gonna $2 more. Okay, it's just gonna be $2 more.
Yeah.
It's
when
fine.
you're at the door too.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
it's like you're at the nightclub, right? And then last week there was no entry fee. We had a great time last week. Tonight,
just $3.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine to get
and
in.
then you come
2
like
months later. Yeah.
$10, right?
Wait a minute. It went up a little bit. What do you mean
And
$10?
then you start seeing the security guard slipping some in their pocket. And you're like, you
wait a
motherfuckers,
minute.
everyone's eating off me. I gotta pay $20 to get in this like nightclub in DC.
And then pay for drinks
And
after
then-
I get in, and then fucking, you didn't even bag anybody that night, and it's a disaster.
What are we doing? And I got a tip for water because like you look, apparently Bart. I heard this. I didn't hear this the other day. It was like a while ago. But like apparently now it's like if you don't tip at least $1 for a cup of water at the bar. Now that's like now you're supposed to be cheap because of it.
Who said that to you?
It was this girl who I know is a
No.
bartender in DC.
Absolutely
She's like, well, if someone doesn't tip me at least $1,
I wouldn't
when
even
get
know
the
to
water.
tip $1 for that's not a thing.
Yeah, like,
what are we
you want me
talking about?
Tip you for a natural resource, bitch? Like, what are we doing? But it's like because like they're like, oh well, bartenders, they're providing a service. So even if they serve you water, that is a service because they took time away from the whiskey they could have been pouring.
No, that's fine. I can pour my own water. That's fine.
Yeah,
I don't need you. I got you.
Lift this gate up.
I can't make a fucking Manhattan. Or I mean, I'm sure I could if I fucking just put in the time to understand.
Let some guy walk up to
Manhattan.
me with like, I'm like, hey sir, do you mind if I get some water? And he walks up to me, is like, but like with the face that I'm expecting a tip for this. I'm like, bitch, if you don't get the fuck out of my face and go.
Well, so
Get me some
let
Bud Light.
me be fair here. Is I think that's a microcosm of a bigger problem, right? That people just aren't. For one, money's just not going as far, right? And again, we can kind of blame capitalism for this, but two, people just aren't getting paid as much as they should be getting paid. As shit keeps getting more expensive, our wages keep fucking stagnating, right? So they keep remaining the same. And so, and then you have these weird scenarios where it's like, okay, tipping's 15%, right? Like I remember those days, right? Tipping's 15%. Okay, tipping's 20%. Or it didn't even go up to 20%. It went up to 18%, right? Okay, that's like the good amount to tip. Now it's, or then it was 20%. Okay, that's cool. Now I'm seeing like 25 and 30, and I'm like, motherfuckers, like, are we talking like 50%? Like, is it?
So I watched this not documentary. It was like just like a little short series on, I think it was like NBC Money, and they were talking about tipping and how like it's really become a super controversial thing. When you're supposed to tip, when you're not supposed to tip. Like, do you tip before your service? Do you tip after your service?
Do you tip if you're not actually like dining in at a place? Like, so for instance, if I go pick up my food at a place, it's like I'm paying for the food. What am I tipping you for? Like, there's no like
I usually
additional
will leave,
service.
like, $1 or $2.
No, I know, and I do.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, I'm wondering, like, what is the thing that I'm
feel
paying
an
for?
obligation to. I'll put it like that because you're right. I'm paying for the food that this business makes, and then you work at this business, so your job is to make the food.
Yeah, because
right?
one is
I'm paying for
because you're
what
not
I'm paying for.
at that point. You're not a server, right? Like if I'm, and again, this isn't me trying to go against the workers. This is me saying like the whole system is fucked up because it keeps we're charging ourselves like instead of like going to the fucking either corporations or or addressing some sort of like the root causes for this. We're just charging each other more.
The
So
companies
like,
are putting the responsibility of paying their
on just people,
employees like a fair hourly wage on the customers instead of them as the business. So they get to take home more profits, and they're like, you, my customer, pay my employee.
Well, specifically for restaurants, I feel for them because the profit margins in restaurants are non-existent. You don't really make that much money in restaurants. I just finished
watching season 2 of The Bear. Great restaurant. I don't know how they're going to survive.
How'd you like that?
Great show. Really great show.
Right?
I could really only take it 2 episodes at a time, and I think that's like maybe it speaks to why it was so good.
Yeah.
The show did really good at like creating these situations where you're so invested in like the characters in the show, you're so invested in the moment that like it actually kind of somewhat creates anxiety for you.
Yeah.
You're watching it and you're like, oh my God, like are they gonna get the restaurant open in time?
That dinner scene
was
intense as fuck. When you with the fork?
Like so that was intense, absolutely. I think opening night of the restaurant.
That was pretty fucking intense.
He got like locked in and that might have been the best thing for that team.
Anybody who hasn't watched it.
Jamie Lee Curtis. Oh, listen, I just watched.
Oh my God, that one scene where she's outside, that's a heartbreaker, dude.
Yeah,
and the dude, he's from the insurance commercials. It was so well acted by him. I should look up his name.
Yeah, he kind of and like his character is not like he's just a very nice guy, right?
And he then just doesn't know what to do because he mimics like you in that because it's just like, what the fuck do I do here? Like she's just come in, just no, just come in. Like
it's like you're being asked to keep this great secret. It's gonna break people's hearts, right? If they find out and if they don't find out,
it's gonna hurt them all the same.
So and she wasn't necessarily asking him to carry it, but like that's kind of like
she knew she was asking
directly,
him to carry it,
right? She was like, "Hey, lie to them for me." She was like, "Oh, just keep my little secret," which is a different way of saying lie, right? And then carry this great burden on your shoulders that like I'm forcing you to carry because I'm too afraid to go inside. So great show, really good acting. Nothing bad I could say about this show except for I can only do 2 episodes at a time.
No, and
I think that's fair. Heavy.
The last time we talked about it, I think you were like, it's that it just tried to pull on your heartstrings too much, and I was like, I can see a version of that, but it's also just a really fucking well-made show.
Yeah.
Like it's just the story structure, the pacing. Just everything structurally speaking about the show is top notch, and then also I feel like the storytelling. While I do agree that it probably does try to tug on your heartstrings, but in the most sort of genuine and somehow optimistic way, I think, in this really beautiful way.
Because they're putting essentially an entire day of running a business and working at like a high-paced, fast restaurant, where there's extremely high expectations into like a 36-minute episode, so like so everything has to be
heightened.
We're gonna exaggerate the sauce. The sauce isn't right. It needs more salt.
But anybody who's like after working in a kitchen, there are some things that were just like okay, so the one scene at the end of season 1 where or the one episode at the end of season 1 where they do the one take of basically like service after they got like the little machine or whatever. And it just kept spitting out the orders.
Yeah,
I almost had PTSD because like it gave me fucking flashbacks of like moments like that where the thing is just like spitting out paper and you're just like, this is a fucking joke. Like this is literally impossible. Like this is not going to happen. What the fuck do we need to do? Do we need to pull the shit out of the wall or some shit? Because this is not going to work. Like
I feel like they're. So when I saw that scene, I was like, kind of like, this seems fake, right? Because
that shit is real.
Let's say it was through Grubhub or through DoorDash.
No. You're.
So so what they were using was a POS system where people were placing online orders.
Yeah.
Now it's like, are they placing online orders through a service provider that we're using directly, or is it a partnership with like Grubhub or with like DoorDash or Uber Eats, right? Whereas we're taking their online orders, blah blah blah. And I think what happened was Sydney forgot to turn off the POS system overnight, so all those like overnight or early morning orders were coming in all at the same time when they like hit the switch, right? Mm-hmm. What you could do in real life, Instagram, social media. Hey guys, here's what's happening. There was a issue with like the machine, all the orders that were placed between this time and this time. Unfortunately, those orders are not going to be processed because those like business wasn't open at that time, or that was an error. We're working with our like service provider to correct this. We apologize, right? You'll receive a refund, or just send out like the same software, or whether like let's say it's like DoorDash, contact DoorDash and say, hey DoorDash, cancel all these orders. Like there's a way to go around that, which was way less dramatic than what happened in the show. So I'm watching it and I'm like, there was a better solution, but I get that this is a 30-minute episode of a show, so it has to be like, this is the craziest problem of all time. Yeah. That was my issue with the show. There were moments where I feel like the solution was, with logical, cool-headed, level-headed, people who were able to temper their emotions, it wouldn't have been that big of an issue. But in the show, it's more entertaining if there is an issue.
Yeah, I think that's if you, for one, just like any other industry, I think the obviously the what do you call it? I want to say cooking industry. That doesn't sound right.
The service industry, hospitality.
But I think specifically in a kitchen, it has its own tendencies. It has its own nature, and it has its own standards. And I think that what they show in The Bear, if you ask people who like work in restaurants, will tell you they get it pretty fucking similar to how it is. In that you talk about people who have like level-headed attitude. No, that's not. Those aren't the people who work there. Yeah. The people who work there are fucking crazy, and admittedly, they'll tell you they're crazy, and that's a standard, generally. And I know I'm generalizing, but I think that what I'm saying is that that is more representative of how it actually is versus something that's much more toned down than that. Yeah. That's even if it seems like it's heightened, it's still way more accurate than anything else I would see on like fucking. Bradley Cooper. I think he has a movie called Chef or some shit like that, or whatever the fuck it's called. It's more accurate than that.
I did want to see it, but it does. That looks like a very like high end, clean, polish.
Even in those high end places,
it's still crazy.
Is fucking
but
absolutely
that looks
crazy.
Like, I saw the trailer for it.
Yeah.
I saw like a short clip of it too, and I think Bear is probably more like, hey, this is like we're doing takeout shit. People come in like not low end fast, not low end. And I wouldn't even say they were fast food. This wasn't low end food, but it wasn't like high end. That's not what they were doing. They're doing like
either way
mid-tier.
Either way,
this is a very good Chicago neighborhood restaurant.
Sure. Either way, it's a at least to me, and I've worked in a couple different kitchens, but one a little bit later in life where I was like, I could like take note and like understand like what was going on. But during we call it like rush times, right? Like where we just get like a wave of fucking business, and it's just like in some of those moments, if you're not like well prepared, like when you first start, and if you're not used to sort of how things go, you're looking at it like you just laugh because it's like, what is this?
Yeah.
This doesn't none of this makes any fucking sense, like in terms of for humans to go out and execute. The one thing I want to say before you get out of here is I recently went back and binged I was watching TV and I just happened to watch it was like late at night, and I was watching Mission Impossible 3. I caught it like midway through.
What is that? Ghost Protocol?
No. It's the one right before.
It's literally Mission Impossible 3. Gotcha.
Yeah, literally.
Damn, what happened in that movie? Anyway, continue.
Well, it's Philip Seymour Hoffman. He gives a fucking
the scene on the bridge.
Perfect performance.
Remember when he said his name? He was like, I'm gonna make you bleed. Or
just so creepy.
Rest in peace, Philip Seymour Hoffman. But he was very
great fucking villain.
That's
probably
the one
the best
where they got
villain.
His wife and they put the chip in the head of that one agent.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I was watching that, and so I was like, fuck it, let me watch Ghost Protocol. And luckily, I know I just talked about them, but I was watching Paramount. They have all of them on Paramount Plus for anybody who wants to go out and watch that. So I was like, fuck it, let me watch Ghost Protocol. So I stayed up until like 2 watching Ghost Protocol, and I was like, let me watch Rogue Nation.
No fucking yeah. This is last night?
No, not last night. This is like maybe
what time did you go to sleep?
Dog, I went to sleep like 4.
5 o'clock.
Yeah, 4 or 5 o'clock.
Bro, that's junkie hours.
Yeah,
that's
truly.
That's when the heroin is hot.
My eyes were red like a junkie's. But so I was watching. So I watched Rogue Nation, and then I watched. I think after Rogue Nation there is.
And then it's Spec. It's
Bond.
That's the fucking storm. That's
No,
what
I don't
really-
even want to look it up because I want to remember off the top of my head. There's Rogue Nation.
So it's Ghost
and then
Protocol, Rogue
there's-
Nation. There's not the Reckoning. That's the
No,
most
that's the
recent
latest one, right?
What was in between that?
There's Rogue Nation, and then
I gotta look it up.
God damn it!
Yeah,
How
yeah.
the fuck did I forget this? Holy shit!
Right?
My memory
How do we
sucks.
not know this? How do we not know every Mission Impossible movie that Tom Cruise has made? How dare we? So there's
It's Fallout. I should have remembered.
motherfucker.
So I watched Fallout, and then I realized, oh shit, Dead Reckoning is still in theaters. So I went out and watched Dead Reckoning in the theaters. Right?
Yo, great. It was good. It was very
you saw
good.
it?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect, great. Okay,
you sound excited.
no,
You
I'm so excited right now. Okay, I'm glad you watched it, right? Because what I fucking realized after watching all of the Mission Impossible movies, except for 2, I skipped 2 because let's just be honest, we can go ahead and skip 2, is 2 things. One, I realized I actually really fucking like this series. Like, really like it. Like,
Yeah.
really, really fucking
I don't
like
know
it.
why people pretend like Mission Impossible is not.
I think
a phenomenal,
there's something offensive about Tom Cruise. I don't know what it is about
Yeah,
him.
I think
There's something that just is like, I don't want to like you,
Yeah.
but I do like the shit you produce.
So my partner, this is what she said. She was like, I don't like Tom Cruise, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, but like there's so
There's something deeply
much
there's
more.
something deeply unlikable about him. Like he just reeks of just all the things we like are kind of gross and, like, as they say these days, the ick, right?
Yeah. So here's how I feel about Tom Cruise. I don't know the man. I only know him on TV.
No, I know.
I like TV
which is why I
Tom
still watch
Cruise.
his fucking movies.
Yeah.
You know
So
what I mean?
I like TV Tom Cruise. I don't pretend to know off camera Tom Cruise.
No, but if you're asking me why I think people kind of either dismiss the Mission Impossible movies or whatever the case is. For one, they're big, stupid action movies. Yes,
yeah,
of course.
But like, all right, so let's dive into that for like 2 minutes. Why do people attach or attribute their own emotions to someone they've never met? Yes, do it.
To answer your question is because we're human. That's what we do as humans, right? We that's how we navigate the world, is attaching how we feel about things to things that we don't really need to, right?
Yeah.
And you could argue that that's a self-protection mechanism. That's just how we're wired, whatever you want to sort of term it as. But it's just how we're built as humans.
Yeah, it's just terribly unfortunate because it's like the thing that you feel like you dislike the most. Like for me, that's like usually one of the things. Like I have to try it twice before I really decide I don't like it. Everything that I say I don't
and yet
like.
you say, like, when I say, oh yeah, do you go back and watch a series? You like, absolutely not.
Well, so but that's a little bit different, right? Because it's not like, so what I mean by try it twice, for example, let's say I start a new TV show, right?
Sure.
I'll never watch, and in this situation it's 3. I'll never watch one episode of a TV show and say I don't like it. My minimum is
I've watched
3.
Okay, but for the criteria of what you're talking about, I've watched plenty of Tom Cruise movies. I have plenty of
Yeah.
space to say whether I do like his movies, don't like his movies, don't want to watch them, yada
No,
yada.
but
right?
I'm not talking about you. For example, like again, my partner, she was like,
Yeah.
well, I don't like Tom Cruise. And I'm like, well, have you ever seen any of the movies? She's like, no. So I'm like, oh, so you're basing your entire perspective of what is
No,
like
she could
7
know that
movies.
he's like a Scientologist, and she's like, I just generally don't
It
fuck
wasn't
with
that,
Scientologists.
it was like, I just don't like his, like, I just don't like him.
People are entitled to their own fucking opinion. Let me get to the thing I'm trying
Get to
to
the point.
Okay. The point that I'm trying to get to is, one, I realized I really fucking like these movies. Like, I genuinely think that they're interesting. At least everything post Mission Impossible 2, I think gets really, like, interesting.
That one, they tried to be too sexy in Mission Impossible 2. There was a lot
Well,
of
it was
slow-mo.
John Woo. And that's like basically like what he's known
Yeah.
for is there like this.
Remember he was
you know,
running around the thing when the pigeons were flying?
Yeah,
It was
like
all
the
in
fire
slow
was
motion.
going, and then he was just
just
staring
running
at
in a
him like,
circle, yeah.
just like, dude.
I would just be like,
the
bang, and shot the nigga.
the motorcycle
Mission
thing where the
wasn't
motorcycles
Yeah.
crash into each other, but they dive off and like fucking hug each other.
Yeah,
yeah, that
That's
was
where
pretty fucking
Vin
stupid.
Diesel saw that movie. He was like, I'm gonna do that. And
Okay.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
did it.
yep.
You did it. You did the thing. My second thing, I realized all Mission Impossible, the whole Mission Impossible series, all it is just Fast and Furious. That's all. No,
I would say it's the other
let
way
me-
around.
No.
I would say Fast
No,
and
no, no, no,
Furious
no, no, no.
is trying to be like we're gonna put Toretto, a felon street racer mechanic, and we're gonna put
Yeah.
him in these impossible. He's gonna go to Brazil and steal from the richest drug dealer in Brazil. He's gonna fight international terrorists. I feel like
Yeah.
Fast and Furious is trying to be Mission Impossible.
Yeah. Okay. When did Fast and Furious?
The first Mission Impossible came out well before Fast and Furious.
No, that's not what I'm trying to say. Fast and Furious. Okay, Fast and Furious came out in 2009. Okay, so that came out afterwards. So the point that I was going to make is that the reset of the series. Oh no, this actually still proves my point. All Mission Impossible is just Fast and Furious. The reset for both. Okay, so both series started off with super basic premises, right? So in Mission Impossible, you have Ethan Hunt, who's an IMF agent, and he does these crazy fucking missions. And half the time, he's basically getting blamed for doing some crazy shit, and then he has to prove that he didn't do the shit, and he has to do this crazy fucking mission to prove it, right? So he's an agent. He's James Bond-esque. Okay, Fast and Furious is about racing. It's about cars. It's about racing in cars.
Right.
That's all it's about.
That's how it started. You
Yes.
know how Fast and Furious started? They were just robbing trucks for like electronic goods to sell on the black market. That's what they were doing.
That's what they're doing. What happened is at some point during the series, they realized we can only keep this charade going for so long based on this very thin premise, right? So what we need is something else. They needed a particular movie to help reframe the entire conversation about what this series is, right? For Fast and Furious, that was somehow the movie called Fast and Furious, right? Because remember, it was called The Fast and the Furious, and then their fourth movie in the series was called just Fast and Furious. That reset the landscape of what it was. No longer was it just about racing and streetcars and all this other stuff. That now it was about heist and a ragtag team that got together and did these fucking crazy things, right? More importantly, what it really started to be about was the idea of family, right? Okay.
It's Mission Impossible.
No, the reverse, because the movie that reset both was Fast and Furious for the Fast and Furious series, and the movie that it's sort of difficult to say with the Mission Impossible, because there's two movies that reset shit for Mission Impossible. There was Mission Impossible 3 that gave Ethan Hunt sort of like a personality, because before that he didn't really have a personality. Even in 1, he didn't really have a personality. He did have a personality, but it wasn't really a character driven story. It was just, he's just trying to solve this mystery, right? In 2, there was no personality. He was just fucking Superman, but instead of wearing a cape, he wore black sweaters. And in 3, he got a wife. He had some sort of motivation for the things that he was doing. So that sort of helped reset things. But the movie that really fucking reset things, Ghost Protocol.
For sure.
That changed everything for Mission Impossible. That made it, not this silly kind of cartoonish
now
sort
they're
of
not
thing.
solving or like going after like individual impossible missions. They are there's a network behind.
It didn't start then either.
So that's when they introduced the syndicate.
The syndicate got it mentioned at the end of.
It was in 4. I'm telling you, that's when at the end of 4.
Oh, at the end of 4, but the movie itself wasn't about that.
Yeah,
they literally just mentioned the syndicate at the last one of the last lines.
Leading up, the whole movie was leading up to the point that this is way more organized than we thought.
There's nothing in Ghost Protocol that had anything to do with the syndicate other than literally. I literally just watched all these movies.
On the next episode, we're gonna dive into.
Yeah. Okay, but let me just finish this thought super quick. So Ghost Protocol effectively hit the hard reset button on the entire franchise, right? But that didn't come out until 2011. Fast and Furious, the one that reset it for the Fast and Furious franchise, came out in 2009, right? So technically, Fast and Furious beat them to the punch in terms of resetting the franchise. Okay, but then what does it become after that, right? What is the one thing driving both series, right? The crazier. Or both are about the idea of family, right? Because Ethan Hunt, his whole driving force is he can't sacrifice his friends in order to save the world, and he tries to find some sort of middle lane where he doesn't have to sacrifice anybody, but he tries to save the world. What's the Fast and Furious? Is he's trying to fucking save everybody instead of saving the world.
So you're proving the point.
They're
trying to make Toretto into an Ethan Hunt type of character. This,
No,
like,
you're just saying that because Ethan Hunt is an agent and this is what he's been doing the whole time, and you're trying to say that. Okay,
no, they're
well,
trying to say
Dominic
that Dominic Toretto, he leads this ragtag
Let me
group
finish
of
making my
like
point.
street.
Let me
This
finish
is
making
a
my
long. Come on,
I know it's long, but let me get through it.
I got 2 minutes.
I know. And so you have Toretto, who is all about family and is all about not sacrificing his loved ones in order to save the day, right? That he tries to find some sort of middle area, right? Ethan Hunt is the same way, but Ethan Hunt really didn't get that that need or that motivation until somewhere between 3 and 4, right? A combination of both of them, where he starts developing this thing. I'm not going to sacrifice everybody for this thing. Or you could argue there's some traces of that in 2, but also again we're discounting 2 because it was very stupid. Okay, what else is the hallmark of both franchises?
I don't think. I mean, you tell me.
Crazy fucking stunts. That's what the hallmark of the franchises are, right? So in Fast and Furious, with each movie, it gets progressively dumber in terms of like the stunts that they do. All Mission Impossible is just a sophisticated version of the Fast and Furious franchise.
But it predates Fast and Furious. I think what they tried to do in like the 4th Fast and Furious movie is they tried to turn what is Ethan Hunt from the 1996, 2000, 2006. The prior 3 Mission Impossible movies, they're like, now we're going to start sending Toretto and his gang of ragtag people on these impossible missions. And then we're going to have, so Toretto's going to be, he's going to be the agent, right? And then he's going to have guys like Ludacris, who is his version of like Ving Rhames, like the tech guy. We're going to have someone who's another like possible field agent in like a, Paul Walker and maybe a Tyrese, blah, 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 who can support in the field, right? That's what they did. They turn these street racers who are doing heists from trucks into
you're missing
agents.
You're missing my qualifier. My qualifier was what was the movie that hit the reset that actually made the movies more about this idea of family and not sacrificing.
And I'll answer
people.
that question. So for Mission Impossible, they reset the Mission Impossible series, right? I mean, like, all right, we're gonna start telling like a different story, or like we're gonna take the first 3 movies and in Ghost Protocol, we're gonna start to like narrow our vision in terms of like where we're going with like, identifying the syndicate and blah, 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 right? I feel like Fast and Furious, when they decided to do the reset, they're like, we're not going to do this whole like street racer family thing. We're going to turn them into agents. So now we're going to do what Mission Impossible did in 1996, and we're going to turn them into agents and send them all these impossible missions.
Okay, try to follow me here. They didn't.
I got 30 seconds.
I know you have 30 seconds. They didn't do that in the first Mission Impossible movie, right? Like that, literally.
It started that way. They started as IMF.
You can't give me 30 seconds and then dominate 15 seconds of it. Okay, just give me the 30 seconds.
I said they started as IMF. That took 3 seconds.
Okay,
go.
So in the first Mission Impossible movie, his entire team dies, right? So there's really no team to either sacrifice or not sacrifice, right? They all died, and so that's not really a good example. The movie that reset both franchises was Fast and Furious in 2009, and then 2 years later is a Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. Those were, so if you're chronologically speaking, if you're looking at what movies sort of reframe the idea of what the movies were about, the Fast and Furious was ahead of Mission Impossible in terms of reframing what the series was ultimately about.
I think you're concerned about the reset. What I'm saying is
because that's
Fast and Furious.
That's literally my point.
No,
you're ignoring
when
what
Fast and Furious did their reset. They reset to become what Mission Impossible started as.
I just explained to you why that is not what Mission Impossible started as.
Let's. I really want to do a deep dive into this.
Yeah, we just want to do it
when we record.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you later.
I'm super late.
Yeah, no, I got you. All right, so we'll see you some other time at some other place. All right, you guys take care. You know the fucking protocol. All right, peace out.